This episode is brought to you by the law offices of Rene A. Flores. Hashtag DWI expert.
And how did you get involved in wrestling back then? And what year was that? What year was the year that you got involved in wrestling?
Brother, when I was 12 years old, I started going to a place called the Memorial Auditorium here in Chattanooga. That's where they had live wrestling on Broad Street down here at WDEF TV 12.
And now, WDEF TV 12 presents In Color Live Wrestling from our studios at 3300 South Broad Street. To tell you about the action, here's Harry Thornton.
Here we are here. And we have one half of the main event coming out. And Harry Thornton, you know you've had a lot of tough tag teams around here. Such as
and then that night, they would take it to the auditorium every Saturday night. And I started watching that, and I would see guys like Jackie Fargo, Don Fargo, Luke Graham, Ripper Collins, the Spoilers interns. I fell in love with it. At 12 years old, Rock, I knew I was going to be a professional wrestler. When I got out of high school, I had a job here and a job there, and met Ken Hawk, which is a guy that trained me. He's passed away now, but he trained me for about 2 weeks. And during all this time, I wrestled in high school. From 8th grade on, I wrestled.
I was going to ask you about that.
Yeah, man. And I love amateur wrestling, man. I love watching that stuff. Love going to the matches with Camden. Camden's wrestling as well. And got him in the ring a couple weeks ago. And before all this, he played football, his freshman year, and got a cracked vertebrae. So he thought he wanted to be a pro wrestler, and I was, hey, do the back bump, do the back, get up, you're reaching, get up, you're reaching, get up. And his back started hurting. And from then on, he can't be a professional wrestler because there's a lot of back bumps, a lot of this due to that vertebrae, you know. So.
Well, speaking of that professional, wrestling is a lot more intense now. There's more physical. It's a lot more physical than it was back in your day. I mean, I did see that video clip that you sent with Ric Flair, and you do some great, mat work when you and Ric Flair are going at it, man. It's an amazing thing to see. And Gordon Soley, who's talking, during the match, he says if anybody is capable of upsetting Ric Flair, it's Pat Rose.
If there's anyone that I know of that is capable of an upset.
How's that work for scientific wrestling going now?
He has all those capabilities, and Rose could be an upsetter, though. Flair keeping that arm trapped. Look at Rose turn into his man and Flair countering him. Flair, beautiful float over, keeping a loose ride, posting that arm. Brother, don't ever think for a minute this man doesn't keep himself completely polished at all times. Post that far arm.
Man, I'm going to say this about Gordon Soley. He liked me. He always called me the police officer from Las Vegas, Nevada, whatever that was. And he liked me. And I was scheduled to go on a tour. Used to, we'd have tours of the country. And I was scheduled to go on a tour through Florida, the Keys, and come back up. And who was I working with that whole tour? Elegante. And Gordon seen that, and he said, no, Pat Rose ain't working with no Elegante. Pat Rose got Tommy Rich the whole tour. Boom. They changed it. Tommy Rich the whole tour. So I had a night off every night. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because Tommy was good, man.
Yeah.
And you could get some good heat on Tommy.
Yeah.
Tommy, there's been a lot of talk, of course, about the NWA World Heavyweight Championship, and we've had over the years some great champions, no question about that. We only have one, however, that's accomplished what Harley Race has accomplished, and I thought it might be interesting today because you defeated Harley Race for the NWA World Heavyweight Championship, but the man proved the kind of perseverance, the kind of dedication and self-sacrifice that he had, because he came back and took the title back from you.
Well, you know, that's exactly right. And like you said, Gordon, I've wrestled a lot. I've wrestled Jack Briscoe. I've wrestled Terry Funk. I've wrestled a lot of guys. And I'd have to say, you know, Harley Race is one of the toughest men I've ever wrestled in my life.
You know what? And like I said, you know, when I seen the Fargos, I fell in love with them. One, Don Fargo was a bodybuilder.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that look. Well, it looks like you now, Brock. the big arms, the small waist, you know, the big chest where you sit your Coke can on your chest and it sits there. I wanted that.
Yeah.
And I started going to the gym, and shoot, I got 20-inch arms, had 20-inch arms, big chest, small waist, big thighs. And that was part of professional wrestling. And when I got to go to Pensacola, I got put with Don Fargo. We started the new Fabulous Fargos. It was me, and the first partner was Ken Tim. He had to leave, and then I got Marcel Pringle. And when we went to Memphis as the new Fabulous Fargos, it was a guy named Paul Lee from here in Chattanooga that runs a show. He runs Wrestle Jam, and he brings in, you know, all the old-timers, Sergeant Slaughter, Scott Steiner, Mankind, Mick Foley. He brings them all in, and it sells out every year.
Yeah.
And people love it.
It's awesome.
And good wrestling shows.